Okay. All right, y'all. We live. Having a few technical difficulties. They came and installed a fence. From the time they started installing the fence yesterday, the Wi-Fi started acting crazy. No, it's not going to work. You got to wait. Go. I had to break out my portable one. It was dead. Oh, y'all. You got to wait, Zay. Don't do it right now. Just go chill out. Okay, y'all. Hopefully, it ain't going in and out. Zoe, Mom, Betwabu. All right, y'all. And I called Verizon. You know, we got Verizon. We paid our bill. Look, so they started installing the fence. I don't know if they blew something. We checked the fuse. It didn't blow a fuse or anything. It didn't trip anything. But from the time they started installing the fence, it just went crazy. And now it's not working. So I'm using my portable, my phone Wi-Fi. So if it's going in and out, I'm sorry. The video might just be choppy today. Facebook might be fine. Laptop, not. Yeah, see, it's doing that message in and out. The connection is unstable. So let me do this. Hold on. Let me see. I think, hold on. If it's too choppy over here on YouTube, I'm going to just say go to the Facebook page. I'm trying to see if I can get this cut on. Let's see what this do. Let me just go ahead and share the link. You see, but everything is mounted to the side of the house. They should not have touched any kind of cables. That's what I wanted. I was like, maybe they by mistake or something, but it don't look like it had been messed with. So the Verizon secured that box nice and tight. It's inside a box with screws. It's, you know, I don't know. Maybe it was something on the ground or something. I don't know. Yeah, I keep spinning. Okay, so we're going to do this. Hold up. Okay. Yeah, I'm about to give y'all the Facebook link so y'all come over here. Trina, hey, Uncle JD, Grand Rising. Okay. Let's see. Hold on. Let me try something else first, real quick. Swipe up to unlock. Connecting. Let's see this. Give me 1 second. I probably had to just stop this and restart it. Let's do this one. Yep, it ended it for me. We're going to end this. Hold on, y'all. A few technical difficulties this morning. We're about to chat disconnected. Yep. All right, let's start it over. Let's do this. Yes, leave. Boy, I tell you. Why can't people install stuff and be careful? I gotta call Verizon because we called, we double check everything, we reset everything. We called them, but when we called, it was a little too late and the offices was closed. So the only thing we could get done was the automated teller walking us through steps. Let's try this again. Walking us through steps of what to do. Then she just further verified, yeah, you have a problem. You need to call and talk to somebody. But they were closed, clearly. Let's see. Let's try this again. We live again. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, hold on. We're going to get it together. Let me make sure YouTube is good. Try this first. Got this up. This is connected to my portable one. I got enough juice on it now. Okay, hold on. Let's see. I'm live. Okay. Okay. Yeah, y'all just go chill out. Don't hover around me. Y'all can't get on right now. Okay. All right. We good? Just in case, okay. My portable Wi-Fi got enough juice on it now. I'm not sure if it's going to die again, but let me go ahead now and share the Facebook link just in case the chat died on me before I can give it to you last time, just in case this becomes a bit too much. Let me get it for you. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. It's choppy again. Okay. There we go. Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Oh, it's an L. T's. Okay. All right, let's try it. Let's see if we can go from here. Okay. All right, beautiful people. It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Guys, one of y'all took my pen? Okay. Say, listen, you can't connect to this. Don't try and connect to my phone. Do that. Connect to this one. Jesus peace. Let me tell you, these kids are something else nowadays. They took up a vote. They said, Mom, we took a vote. Everybody agreed. We need to go to a hotel. I'm like, for what? Because we don't have Wi-Fi. I'm like, that is not a reason to go to a hotel. Yes, it is. Look, Jeremiah, after he get off of work, Jeremiah come out his room, walking through the house like, hello, everybody. We're like, well, hey, we ain't seen you in 14 years. He said, what's going on with the Wi-Fi? I'm like, this is all we need to do. We just need to cut off the Wi-Fi, get everybody looking up, looking around at each other, even the kids. You know what? We're in the midst of getting ready to move. All right, so we packing up the house. I went and bought these tubs for my bookcase and stuff, and they got all the games and game systems and stuff. They said, well, since we can't play the games, since we can't watch TV, we can't really do anything because there's no Wi-Fi. Can we pack up the bookcase? I'm like, absolutely. So they was up packing last night, packing the bookcase up, packed up the game systems and everything. I'm like, it's not such a good thing to be without Wi-Fi. I was like, I grew up without Wi-Fi. Josiah looked at me like I was crazy, like I was born in a stone age, sort of like Josh is looking at me now because he went in the kitchen when we was having this conversation. Like, what do you mean you didn't have Wi-Fi growing up? I'm like, internet wasn't really a thing when I was growing up, for real. It was like just coming out. We had like that AOL dial-up, listening to the phone ring and doing all that stuff. Ain't nobody had time for that. He said, he just shook his head in utter disbelief. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get started. The first few minutes. Auntie, shalom, shalom. Oh, we got a prayer. We got a prayer. Oh, we're going to open it with her prayer today. Look. Hold on. Facebook, we kind of breaking it up. Let me expand it. Okay, shalom, shalom. Most high. Oh, hold on. It's small again. Hold on. Oh, Most High, teach us how to trust our heart, our mind, our intuition, inner knowledge, and the sense of our bodies and blessings of our spirit. Teach us to trust these things so that we may enter into our sacred space and love beyond fear and thus walk in balance with the passing of each glorious sun. Oh, that was so good. Mom, shalom, shalom. All right, beautiful people. So let's get started. It is Tuesday, April the 5th, 2022, day 74 of year 4 of reading through the books of the Law and the Prophets, another 4-year consecutive day count, day 1092. I'm going to need you to back up. See? Yeah, see, you're messing it up. Which one is you? See, I didn't connect you to the portable one. Back up. Y'all doing too much. Go ahead, curly head. Move. Yeah, we played outside. We knew what monkey bars were. Are they bars that monkeys swing on? What do you mean? What are monkey bars? Oh, how far have we fallen in this information? This age of Wi-Fi. Y'all get out the kitchen. Bye. Go and get out here, y'all. Tootie, where's yours? If you go find yours, you can connect to the portable Wi-Fi.
Mom, look.
It's the glow.
Oh, wait, whoa.
Oh, wait, whoa. All right, y'all.
I don't need Wi-Fi.
You were smart and downloaded your stuff.
No,
okay.
It's already up here.
It's still downloaded to the thing. That's what I'm saying. All right, y'all. We paused in the middle of Tablet X, so we're going to pick up the rest of this, which should really only take us a few minutes to read, and then we're going to hop right over to the ancient wisdom, what it would have its disciples to know. We should get through a good bit of that today, since we're just going to only finish up this little piece of chapter right here. All right. So a recap of what Tablet X was about is, I don't know, Josh, help her get in that. Go around. Watch that cord, please. The Book of Crossing and the Elusive Stargates. Okay. I'll read the first sentence. Here continues the Book of Crossings, describing how our physical universe operates on the fundamental geometry of metaphysical vibration, defined natures of energetic currents, vibrations. Yes, Bella.
John said I need
Listen, y'all all need to go out of here. Go, Josh.
I said she needs to find the game first. Cause look.
Right. Okay. You can't do that without the actual little thing. Come on. Go around here. Go. Defined natures of energetic currents, vibrations are what wizards and mystics understands as magical correspondences. Energetic polarity of a specific current is allocated across many systems of correspondence. For example, colors, planets, days of the week. Emphasis should not be on fragmentation levels, the separation of the whole into parts, only to find more separate relationships and correspondences is not the best way back to true unification. All right, that's all I'm going to read of that. All right, so where we paused at, it was after the West Gate. Remember, I showed you the pictures of the north, south, east, and west gates? All right, those were sigils. So when they do prayers, they either hold that sigil in their head, imagining it, or they would draw it out. Stop messing with stuff.
I'm not messing with it.
Okay. All right, y'all. Lavon, blessings. Okay. The Annunaki gods sealed within this system are 7. Among them is Marduk, who attempted to seal the others to the gates of Babylon. Before them all is the Earth Gate, foundation of heaven and earth. Beyond them is the Ring Gate of Past Not, wherein resides the ancestral chiefs of the supernal trinity, the elder gods, Anu, Enlil, and Enki. In Christianity, those elder gods are called the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We ain't going to get into it today. We talked about it enough. Energy currents of these Anunnaki forces are bound to the 7 rays and to the 7 stars, each vibrating a tone or color of manifestation into this material existence. Powers of the Anunnaki, as connected to planets and rays, are called zonai, Z-O-N-E-I, or zones, comparable even to the stations of the spheres, Sephorath in the Semitic Kabbalah. And may the wise come forth to tap the powers of the gateway of the gods, that these currents may be realized on earth once again, and may the Annunaki return and command the obedience and authority. But beware the deception of fragmentation, for the colors and flavors displayed before you are of a unifying source. Beyond the 7 Zonai, Annunaki, are the 3 rays of unity that become fractured into 7 parts of our world. And beyond the Holy Trinity is one, the eternal source of all being and creation that is manifest in the will and form of every thought and thing. This power was divided by the 3, and from the 3, the 7. It is the necessary purpose of this energy to return to the unifying source once being realized, collected, and channeled by the one and Akashic being on earth, which is the practitioner. Powers of the younger elder gods are sealed to the blood of their ancestors and lineages, such as is yours, dear seeker, which invariably emerges from the position of Anu in the local system, and from Anu divided then between Enlil and Enki. The ancient text explains that the blood of Kingu and the breath of the elder gods were blended for your existence, and it is from these things alone that magical powers can be brought into materialism by the being that possesses them. Remember that Marduk and Nabu sought to seal the power of Enlilship on earth, so that many of these powers are represented within either the triangle Enki or the triangle of Enlil. Traditionally, only after the seeker has passed the 7 Zonai should an attempt be made to contact the Holy Trinity directly, and then only with discretion. By rules of succession, Nabu can lead you directly to Marduk, who can petition you to Enki, Enki to Enlil, and Enlil to the current of Anu, if desired. In the pious source tradition, the powers are sent down from above. They are not pulled or culled by threat or force, as can be found in some types of mundane grimoire sorceries. You can distinguish the primary source of a power by the designation of its birthright, most often connected to the insignias of command, mainly triangles, indicating the King of Heaven, and has in parentheses King of Heaven, Anu, the Lord of the original Anunnaki command, Enlil, and the Lord of the earth or deep, Enki, as shown. And so now it's giving you the sigils for Anu, Enlil, and Enki. So you can see the one for Anu here, Enki here. They vary slightly. And this up here, this is what you call cuneiform, right? So this was the more ancient script or letters of writing before even the hieroglyphs. And this is the sigil for Enki right here. All right. The seeker would do well to consider the seals of the 2 primary races. Then it has reference 119 for 2 primary races. Anunnaki family bloodlines between Anu's 2 children, Enlil and Enki. Tuda, you gotta go back. That's not even your account. You gotta go back. No, I can't do this right now because I'm gonna need my phone to pull this up, and I can't do it. Bella, no. No, that's not your account. You gotta, first of all, you have to go to yours. You about to go back upstairs too. Go back. See this? That is not how you spell your name. Go back. Joshua, this is you right there. Bella. You gotta go out of that. Josh, come here. Bella, go through there. Go through there. Okay. The seeker would do well to consider the seals of the two primary races of gods and men. Take the stuff through there. Her too. Go. Go through. We'll go do it through there, guys.
Mom, how does even know how to look up to the white?
I am gonna call y'all dad down here because y'all moving a little too slow. Don't pluck me by this game system first thing this morning. Okay. The seeker would do well to consider the seals of the two primary races of gods and men that inhabited this world in ancient times. As seen in Babylonian tradition, the currents of both sides are invoked for the perfection of the earth system. Bickering and rivalries between polarities do not slow the course of the natural systems because, as it is said, the show must go on. And on a larger scale, a moral duality is not perceived to exist, such as can be found in other traditions. Then it has reference 120, and it says, see also the Gates of the Necronomicon, edited by Joshua Free, anthology, specifically Liber 50, released as Sumerian Religion by Joshua Free. Okay, and right here it shows the original Annunaki hexagram, and this picture, or this, well, his rendition of it is dated for 2009. Over here. I'll leave it up long enough just in case some of y'all don't have the book and you want to screenshot stuff. Okay. Back up. As a constructive symbol, those with any familiarity and high magical power of ceremonial magic or evoked from ceremonial grimoires. Don't do that. Look, guys.
What is today?
It is the 5th of August. I mean, not August, April. Go out the kitchen. Bye. Y'all asking me stuff that can wait. I'm sorry, y'all. As a constructive symbol, those with any familiarity and high magical power of ceremonial magic or evoked from ceremonial grimoires and angelic mysteries will have little difficulty recognizing significance of the combined symbol form, the hexagram, even more than the pentagram, representative of earth energies. It is the hexagram that is most often used by ceremonial magicians when working specifically with celestial magic and practices concerned with communications and exchanges between energies and forces beyond our material world. The 5-pointed star is actually a sign of our material race and is sealed to the condensed material world and the sensual elements. The 7-pointed star is the sign of the race of the Annunaki, and the 8-pointed is the universal of the cosmic stargate itself. Between the two is the sign of the stairway by which the two are linked, and this is relevance of the 6-pointed star, that which has been seen in the emblems of related orders and societies for centuries, and lies at the heart of grimoires and of the Solomonic cycle, the Kabbalah and the Merkaba of this energetic matrix existence. And here's an enhanced Annunaki Mardukite Merkaba. And they have this dated for 2010 when they did the rendition of this. Okay. Amanda, shalom. Shayla, hey girl, hey. Batwabu, great rising. Okay. In Enochian, in Enochian ceremonial magic, this sign is essentially traced, mentally envisioned in an appropriate color based on the planetary current with an appropriate elemental tool while intoning the name of the spirit desired to make contact with. Evocation occurs by conjuring a manifestation of the current to appear in the center of the envisioned glyph. It comes then as no surprise that mystics who have already found success in the past using the Enochian and planetary magic systems have also found that using similar means to connect with more primordial currents of the Necronomicon cycle is quite effective. Now we have the sigil for Nana. The spirit of Nana Sin is the spirit of the moon. The color is silver and blue-black, and the day is Monday. Nana Sin possesses the wand of lapis lazuli, which he will bestow upon the initiate. He rules the sphere of foundations, and his essence is in silver. He grants the virtue of independence and the vision of unification. His powers may be called to overcome idleness and stagnation. We're reading through here. I ain't telling y'all to do some of this stuff. Don't. Nabu is the next one. Nabu is the spirit of Mercury, whose day is Wednesday. His colors are blue and brown, and it has in brackets orange, and his essence is quicksilver. He offers the virtue of true words, and it has in brackets ma'at, powerful prayers, and stupendous vision. He may be called to overcome dishonesty, glamour, and he will stand at your side on the day of judgment. Nabu. Make sure y'all can see it. Hold on. Okay. All right. Ishtar is the next one. Ishtar is the spirit of Venus, whose day is Friday. Her essence is copper, and she bears the copper dagger. The colors of Ishtar are green and white. She offers her magicians the power of love and visions of beauty. She may also be called upon to attain selflessness and dispel lust and impurity. The blinds. Sorry, y'all. Okay. All right. I'll hold it up again a little bit longer so you can see Ishtar again and, hold on. Ishtar and Nabu. I'm sorry, y'all. Trying to hold it for both of y'all to see. Okay. I think that's good on both of them now. Facebook and YouTube. Okay.
Mom.
Son.
My Wi-Fi is staying here because look, it paused.
The next one is Samas. The spirit of Samas is the spirit of the sun star ruling Sunday. His colors are gold and yellow, and his essence is in gold. Samas bestows justice and blessings to dedicates of the great work. He offers courage and visions of harmony, and may be called to dispel false pride and to stand against accusers. Lore suggests he is the keeper of the flaming disc. This one's Samas. Okay. The next one is Nergal. Nergal is the red and fiery spirit of Mars, ruling Tuesday. His essence is in iron and blood, called for vitality. Hold on. His essence is in iron and blood, called for vitality and raw power. His wrath may be used to dispel the cruelty of the world. He may also be called to petition Ereshkigal, queen of the underworld. Nergal. Ain't nobody mess around with the queen of the underworld. You go down there, you won't come back. Okay. The next one, 378, Marduk. I'm reading the page number. Hold on. Marduk. We are on page 378. I just lost my train of thought for a second because when I read this, a dream flashback. I had a dream flashback about something. Okay, Marduk. Marduk is the power of Jupiter ruling Thursday. His colors are indigo and orange. He is known as the winged disc. Marduk commands obedience and visions of true love and unity, dispelling the pride, hypocrisy, and injustice in the lands. Magicians and priests of Babylon use the name of Marduk in their own stead to petition the Annunaki of the gates. Marduk's sigil. Ninurta, also known as Ninib. The Ninurta current is the Saturnalian spirit ruling Saturday. His colors are black and violet with an essence in lead. He offers the grace of silence and the virtue of self-annihilation. The current carries the consolation of greed and monetary systems. Ninurta also holds the true position of successor as royal heir to Enlil or Bel. Sarpanit, and this is the last one right here before tablet Y starts. Let's look at this here. Sarpanit, earthling consort, divine part of the god Marduk, whose mother is the messenger scribe of the god Nabu. Sarpanit became the moon goddess of Marduk and the Ishtar of the Mardukites, becoming the chosen royal consort of Marduk. The wedding ceremony was conducted in Babylon and is celebrated annually during the Akiti festival. As the tradition spread, she became known to the people as Irua, mother goddess of the children of Marduk. She is given her respects after the Enlilite powers are sealed, and those who serve her for her husband are rewarded. Sarpanit.
You will be done.
Almost, Tootie. Got about 30 more minutes. All right, beautiful people. And that is the end of this tablet. Yes. No, because I'm actually about to use my iPad. All right, y'all. So let's hop on over here to... No, babe. Bella, don't start. Okay. Kindle. What the ancient wisdom expects of its disciples. Okay. But again, fools dash in where angels fear to tread. We pause. Gotta look back over here. Oh, that's right. I wrote it down. Location 205. Right, the Pied Piper. Okay, number 9. All right, y'all. Okay. Matter of fact, let me just read number 8 again. Okay. Psychologists today teach how one person may influence another to do things otherwise foreign to his nature. Let each student of the mystery school be careful, therefore, when he studies with psychologists, that the psychologist does not turn the tables on him. If he teaches you how to gain some advantage over another and twist that individual to your own ends, take care that he does not discover your gullibility and capitalize on you by way of demonstrating the application of his own philosophy. These things work both ways, and if you expect to psychologize others, you must expect to be psychologized in turn, for it is a poor rule that does not work both ways. It is, however, a good rule which most people are willing to have turned around and applied to them. Psychology has psychologized the public, and like the children of Hamlin Town who followed the Pied Piper, immature minds have followed false teachings until they have disappeared into the unknown. Number 9. Among the so-called students of truth, we see the fruitage of the delusions from which the world suffers. Sickly, nervous, no longer capable of solving their own problems, they sit around treating each other, waiting like spiritual microbes for something to turn up. These people were once useful, intelligent members of their community, but now they are so involved in mental absurdities that they are both useless to themselves and to society in general. Most of all, they are like gaunt scarecrows who frighten others from the paths of wisdom. Remember how months ago I used to say all the time when I was really harping on Christianity a lot? I was like that it literally immobilizes you. How they teach you about deliverance and being saved and sitting around waiting for a savior to come get you, it literally immobilizes you. That's why they go to preach the gospel to the four corners of the earth as it is taught. And when they indoctrinize you, or they give you the gospel of Jesus Christ, it has you doing stupid stuff and you don't realize it for a while that you've been taken, while they begin to take your stuff, right? Think about it. I'm gonna read this again because it's true. They take people who were, not all, some people come from different walks, and some people that it actually helped them, right? Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, because you get good people. Sometimes you may need something like that to help you kind of break through or break away from certain things you were in. But that part is good, but getting you caught up into a religion, getting you entrapped in another whole different thing is not good, right? You want to break free and stay free so you can use your own mind and not be scared to death of doing something for fear that you can be banished to a place burning forever. And spirits don't burn, if anybody ever thought about that. I'm just saying, we'll throw that out there. Okay. Because when you leave here, you no longer have flesh. So what good would a burning fire do to a spirit that is not affected by those elements? Anybody ever thought about that? Not really? Okay. I'll read it again. Among the so-called students of truth, we see the fruitage of the delusions from which the world suffers. Sickly, nervous, no longer capable of solving their own problems, they sit around treating each other, waiting like spiritual microbes for something to turn up. These people were once useful, intelligent members of their community, but now they are so involved in mental absurdities that they are both useless to themselves and to society in general. Most of all, they are like gaunt scarecrows who frighten others from the paths of wisdom. Number 10. The ancient wisdom is sane. That's going to be our title for today. Ancient wisdom is sane. S-A-N-E. The ancient wisdom is sane. It seeks to solve the problems which we are surrounded today. It is spiritual and reasonable in the highest sense of the word. It is seeking to develop better men and women to meet the problems of future generations. It is based upon the law of cause and effect. It has no patented formula, no shortcuts, but builds firmly and solidly the characters of those who unite themselves with its work. It is not led by mountebank teachers, but by great minds that have dedicated themselves since the beginning of the world to the promulgation. Okay, I think it's promulgation. Yeah. It is not led by mountebank teachers, but by great minds that have dedicated themselves since the beginning of the world to the promulgation of the sacred truths. It speaks with the experience of eternity, for it has led 1,000 nations into being and buried as many when they turned from its course. The nations of antiquity, which still exist, have the ones which have preserved its laws, while those that have fallen are the ones that have ignored its commandments. There is no greater honor than to be called to the service of this eternal wisdom, which was before the beginning, and which will ultimately become the visible, exoteric, ruling body of the planet. Through the doors of its temple, man passes from the temporal to the eternal, from ignorance to wisdom. It is strong and great, this ancient wisdom. It is the earth moistened with the waters of life, in which are planted the seeds of doctrines, faiths, and religions. All of these are dependent upon it for nourishment and growth. They blossom forth and are glorified, but the dark and mysterious soil in which they all grow is the ancient wisdom. From it they come, to it they will again return. They are temporal, it is eternal. All right, the next section is called The Coming of the Mystery Schools. That might be a part of our title today, too. Ancient Wisdom is Sane, and The Coming of the Mystery Schools. Everybody want to know a mystery. Everybody want to know a secret, right? Since earliest times, the belief in a superior and supreme being manifesting in totality what man manifests only in part has been the common property of human creatures. The mindless man, struggling up through the muck and mire of the Paleozoic fiends, beat his hairy breast with long, misshapen arms and raised his cry to an unknown God. Even the hairy anthropods of today have certain rudiments of religious worship. Soulless but aware, they turn their half-formed faces to the sky and clasp their hands as though in prayer. No one knows whence came the spirit of worship, the great desire to express thankfulness for the mere privilege of existing, but it is as old as history. The first writings are of the gods. Probably the first buildings were temples, for we are realizing more day by day that every structure in nature is a sanctuary built without the voice of workmen or the sound of hammers. It is not only a sanctuary, but also an altar. It is not only the altar, but also the offering laid upon the altar. There is no voice, no people that does not bear witness to some God, some presence felt in silence, some power seen in heaven. All human beings are divided into 4 general classes, but each one lives only in one part of himself, or rather, he minimizes all other portions and emphasizes this above the rest. The lowest of these divisions is the physical nature, and those who dwell therein are of the earth. Earthy, they live only for gratification of their physical natures. Their idea of heaven is a place where there is food, feasting, and little or no work. They are the Brahmic Sudras who, born in chains, are doomed to live and die in shackles of low organic quality. The very structure of the bones and flesh prohibits fineness and texture either of body or soul. Their minds are only partly active. Their bodies resemble prisons more than dwelling places. They differ from the finer temperaments as the dray horse differs from the Arabian thoroughbred. Like the former, they live to labor, plodding along to a mediocre destiny. They are the laborers who must in truth earn their bread by the sweat of their brows. Give them opulence, and they cannot retain it. Give them luxuries, and they do not appreciate them. They are the dark earthy ones who must ever bow before intelligence. They do not love God, for they cannot know him. They are like the hairy anthropods, raising their hands to unknown elements. The second division is made up of the Artesians and those who labor both with mind and hand. They are the brown men of the Indian myth. They buy, sell, and exchange. To their basic dullness has been added a certain cunning and some intelligence. Having a mind, they control the mindless. They are the petty shopkeepers and those of a similar class who are gradually exchanging the labor of the hand for the labor of the head. Not having the mental organism with which to reason, they fill the places of worship where thinking is done for them. They are the ones who allow the clergy to decide all spiritual problems for them, feeling themselves incapable of assuming the onus of heavy thinking. As a result, their ideas of eternity are rather abstract, and their credulity is utilized as a commercial asset by certain types of minds who consider it legitimate to capitalize on the ignorance of others. It's talking about the church folks and religion, y'all. The chat disconnected again. Oh, man, y'all got to go to Facebook. If y'all can hear me, y'all got to go to Facebook. I put the link up at the top. The Wi-Fi is acting crazy. Got to wait for Verizon to get out here today. All right. I might have to just take the Facebook video because my phone is running directly off T-Mobile's Wi-Fi. And at first I linked my laptop to my phone, but it was still kind of shaky. So that's why I had to wait for enough juice to get on my portable one. But still, I guess, I don't know. I might have to just upload this Facebook video to YouTube. Okay. The third class is made up of the scientists with microscope, telescope, and other apparatus still more complex. They attack the boundary lines of the known and wage war upon the limitless chaos. Those who wage this war in the cause of science are mostly concrete thinkers who follow as far as their instruments will lead them and then must wait for instruments still more powerful. Most of these minds are the aesthetic, or at least agnostic, that is, of course, unless they have two standards. One, to last 6 days in the laboratory, and the other to be assumed Sunday morning in church. The miracles of theology are incapable of chemical analysis and are consequently taken cum grano salis by the scientific world. Therefore, the controversy between science and theology is bequeathed as a legacy to have and to hold upon that helpless posterity who come into the world to inherit the debate. The fourth and highest group embraces philosophers, musicians, and artists, all living in an abstract mental world surrounded by dreams and visions wholly unrecognizable by the other types. They have reached beyond the world of academic education to the world of creative idealism, which is at present the highest function of the human mind. This world is the dwelling place of genius, of invention, and of the things which lower mentalities can only accept but never analyze. Religiously, these minds are deistic. Most of them are monotheist believers in one God. Many of them are mystics or occultists, and although possibly not yet sufficiently advanced to recognize their doctrines, yet belong to that finer type of mind capable of piercing the veil which divides the shadow from the substance. In all human nature, there is a certain expression there's a certain expression of primitive instinct with a desire for food, which expresses the hunger of the material nature, and the desire for freedom, which expresses the hunger of the intellectual nature, is also found that appreciation for the unknown, that aspiration which bears witness to the slumbering germ of a spiritual nature, which somewhere in the constitution of all living things lies dormant and apparently lifeless. Did the chat come back yet? I mean, I guess y'all can still hear me because I still see some people here. Okay. All right. As soon as man was capable of thought, his mind turned upon himself. He sought to find a solution to the mystery of his own existence, which his unfolding intelligence was revealing to him in greater fullness every day. What am I? Why am I here? What lies beyond the horizon line of futurity? These were the great problems which confronted the primitive man, and these are also the great problems which confront the men and women of today. Religions have gradually been evolved. Bella, chill! Religions have gradually been evolved as man sought to explain himself. Once there were few and simple. Now there are many and complicated. This in itself shows the ever-unfolding faculty range of the human mind. The primitive man could count up to only the number of his own fingers. Since then, however, the human mind has conceived mathematics, and by this science can now deal in infinite computations of numbers with at least some degree of intelligence. The greatest proof of the evolution of the human mind is found in the development of man's handiwork. The hollowed log of primitive savage has become the great steamship of today. This great development, which has gradually been brought about through the ages, is not the result of the miraculous transformation of natural substances, but the gradual growth of the human mind, which is molding all its contacts into ever more complicated forms as the result of its ever-increasing senses and functions. Religion is the outgrowth of many ages of spiritual hunger, when the soul of the primitive man, finding itself insufficient, turned in awe to the immensity of nature, in whose endless pageantry it saw a power far greater than itself. The savage turned to the winds and found them in something superior to himself. He trembled in fear at the voice of the thunder, fell prostrate in terror as great storms swept through the primitive world, and volcanic craters belched forth red-hot stones and ashes. He offered sacrifices to the gods of the air that they should spare him. He cried from the tops. He cried from the tops of the mountains and offered incense to the stars. He could not find God anywhere, so he offered sacrifice to him everywhere. He saw his crops burn for lack of water. His children sicken about him. His hopes were dashed to the ground by an unknown, unnamed thing which he could not understand was the determining factor in every thought and action of his life. This was undoubtedly the origin of religion as man knows it. Guys, voices down. This was undoubtedly the origin of religion as man knows it. We remember the words of Pope, "Lo, the poor Indian, whose untutored mind sees God in clouds or hears him in the wind." End quote. Man is small, nature is great. Man is finite, nature is infinite. Man struggling against nature is like a tiny boat buffeted by the waves. In the endless grinding wheels of nature, ancient man recognized power. He realized that there was something greater than himself, a power that was supreme. He longed to exercise it, and through millions of years of struggle, like Hiawatha and the Maize King, to extract from the unknown power the secret of its greatness. Like Isis, he conjured Ra to tell his name and sought again and again to raise the veils of the world virgin. He found that some things which he did destroyed. He found that some things which he did destroyed him, while others brought him happiness and peace. He sought to learn which was and why, realizing that his very existence depended upon the wisdom of his choice. Finding at last he could not master nature by force, he sought to master it through obedience. Our religious codes are largely the outcome of primitive experiments as the human mind, struggling for survival, gradually learned the will of nature and molded itself into that will. Hold on, I need a sip of water, y'all. We almost done. We got 50 minutes. We got about 10 more minutes. I guess y'all can hear me, but the chat just not working. Or it might just be frozen altogether. It might not because the time's still running up. All right. Today, we are privileged to look back upon the history of the race and profit by the experience of the ages. Saints, sages, and saviors, unnumbered, have lived and died, grappling with the problem of human destiny. The fruitage of their labors is preserved to us in the scriptures and philosophies of all nations. What are the so-called sacred books? Are they not merely the contributions to the knowledge of the world made by those who, devoting their lives to the problems of humanity and learning to solve them, have wandered alone yet unafraid in those casual worlds which man calls nature? Gradually, man has built the body or institution he calls religion. It is a mental temple, its dome upheld by a number of columns, each of these columns one of the faiths of men. The East, the West, the North, and the South have contributed either to the strength or the beauty of that structure. The entire building, however, is a material thing. It is the offering of man to the unknown. As the spirit enters the human body, when the embryo reaches a certain degree of unfoldment, so will the spirit of truth enter the religious body when that structure has adequately prepared itself for such a coming. That's good. Listen to this. I'm going to read this whole little paragraph again. Gradually, man has built the body or institution he calls religion. It is a mental temple, its dome upheld by a number of columns. Each of these columns, one of the faiths of men. The East, the West, the North, and the South have contributed either to the strength or the beauty of that structure. The entire building, however, is a material thing. It is the offering of man to the unknown. As the spirit enters the human body, when the embryo reaches a certain degree of unfoldment, so will the spirit of truth enter the religious body when that structure has adequately prepared itself for such a coming. The world knows many religions, but nature has but one truth. All so-called faiths and doctrines are contributing to the knowledge of that one truth, all expressing one ideal through a multitude of tongues. There is a Babel on the earth, but there is only one voice in the heavens. All faiths are seeking to answer one question. What is the purpose of existence? Each answers it differently. When all are gathered together in their diversities, truth is established. For truth is the sum of all these things. Reality is all things unto all men. The ancient wisdom is the invisible, spiritual side of religion, which quickens the body of religion. It is the one spirit which speaks through a multitude of tongues. It is that presence which enters in when its temple has been built by the body of its workmen. It vivifies the body of faith, making it alive and not merely a series of empty shells. Boy, don't play with me.
Mom.
Go on through there. What?
Oh my God.
Go on through there. Leave it alone till I'm done. The ancient wisdom is the invisible, spiritual side of religion, which quickens the body of religion. It is the one spirit which speaks through a multitude of tongues. It is that presence which enters in when its temple has been built by the body of its workmen. It vivifies the body of faith, making it alive and not merely a series of empty shells. Like the gods of India, it has many arms and many heads, but only one heart. In the very early period of human differentiation, man was incapable of self-government, but was ruled.
Tara and Jason Lodge.
No, not today. Not today. Not today.
No, I said something. Can they come over with the kids?
Can I finish reading this so we can talk about this, y'all?
And then with the PS.
I got like 6 minutes.
That's not enough. No, next I can get on the iPad.
Not fast enough. Look, going out here, y'all. I'm almost done. We're going to pause after this, y'all.
No, next I can end the video.
Yes, everybody be quiet. In the very early period of human differentiation, man was incapable of self-government, but was ruled by those appointed by nature to preserve him and unfold him to the point when he would be capable of taking care of himself. We are told that when our solar system began its labors, spirits of wise beings from other solar systems came to us and taught us the ways of wisdom, that we might have that birthright of knowledge which God gives to all his creations. It was these minds which are said to have founded the mystery schools of the ancient wisdom, for this wisdom was the knowledge of the will of nature for her children. The greatest art in all the world is the art of being natural, for that which is natural shall survive. For ages, religion has been founded upon false hypotheses. It has sought to fill the world with miracles and unnatural things. It has sought to dictate and dogmatize. For this reason, it is failing. Religion is a body, but today it is a soulless body. It has not built its tabernacle according to the law. It is not serving the intelligently and honestly the needs of the human race, but rather is involved. Hey, y'all too loud.
Can you repeat me because John?
Hey, shush. It has not built its tabernacle according to law. It is not serving. It's a temple, a church, tabernacle, synagogue, whatever you want to call it, son. Just like your human tabernacle, your body. It has not built its tabernacle according to the law. It is not serving intelligently and honestly the needs of the human race, but rather is involving itself and its members in endless dissensions of creed, doctrines, and codes, forgetting entirely the spirit of truth. As a result, one of the most important elements of human life is gradually removing itself from the world, and for the lack of an honest, intelligent, fair-minded, and progressive religion, we have an age of extreme materialism when the God of man merely changes from a gilded figure of an unknown God to a gilded coin with distinctly practical uses. The ancient wisdom tells us that there is but one religion and that its seed was planted in the souls of things with the beginning of the world. It became a mighty tree with its roots. It became a mighty tree with its roots in heaven and its branches on earth, like the sacred banyan of India. As all the branches depend upon one trunk, so all faiths and religions depend upon one source, one light for all that they have been, are, or ever shall be. Some branches are large and strong, while others are small and weak, but through all of them courses one life. That life is a light, and that light is the light. And hold on, I'm getting tongue tied here, y'all. Hold on. Some branches are large and strong, while others are small and weak. But through all of them courses one life. That life is light, and that light is the life of men. The ancient wisdom knows neither heathen, nor Christian, nor pagan. It recognizes only many branches on one tree, each branch in itself incomplete, but each part of the tree of faith. The tree asks nothing of the branches other than that they shall be true to the tree and bear true witness of the life coursing through the tree. The ancient wisdom is the life in the tree of faith. We do not see the life. We only see the leaves and the branches which bear witness to the life. But in due season, the miracle of the tree is accomplished. The life of the tree is glorified in the bud and in the flower. The life of the tree is consummated in the fruit of the tree. The glory of the life of that tree is in the new seed, which bears full witness to the creative power of all that has gone before. This tree is indeed a tree of life, for without the higher and finer sentiments, man does not live, he merely exists. If any branch of that tree does not bear fruit, the Master tells us that it shall be cut off and cast into the fire. It is a duty of all living things to produce some truly constructive labor as recognition of the divine life which is within them. God is most glorified when his children glorify his spirit within themselves. In the remote past, the gods walked with men, and while the instructors from the invisible planes of nature were still laboring with the infant humanity of this planet, hey, chill. They chose from among the sons of men the wisest and the truest. These they labored with, preparing them to carry on the work of the gods after the spiritual hierarchies themselves had withdrawn into the invisible worlds. With these specially ordained and illumined sons, they left the keys of their great wisdom, which was the knowledge of good and evil. They ordained these anointed and appointed ones to be priests or mediators between themselves, the gods, and the humanity, which had not yet developed the eyes which permitted them to gaze into the face of truth and live. Y'all see how this lineup is pulling out things that we've been learning throughout, like the complete Annunaki Bible and all the ones that we've already read, the Lost Book of Enki, and even like the scriptures, how it bring it all together, and how we realize that all the religions branch out from the ancient Sumerian religion. That's why that's where everything started. It's all coming together, y'all, if y'all paying attention. And everything is, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Everybody begins to repeat it. Who has uncovered truth, right? Okay. Where we at? Oh, let me finish reading this little paragraph. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Overshadowed by the divine prerogative, these illumined ones founded what we know as the ancient mysteries. These were schools of religious truths, religion being here used in its sense of implying divine wisdom. To these spiritual universities were admitted the most worthy and most capable of the sons of men. At first, these schools were publicly recognized. Great temples were built to house the priests and serve as chambers of initiation. The record of the mystical arcane was in the form of carvings, baked clay tablets, and papyrus rolls. Generation after generation was illumined by the wisdom secreted in these sacred repositories. Gradually, move, son, and go take them geese off. Karate is not till later. Come on.
It's been a long time putting these on. I want to keep them on before we go to karate.
We have many hours before we go. Go take them off so they don't get dirty. Great temples were built to house the priests and serve as chambers of initiation. The record of mystical arcane was in the form of carvings, baked clay tablets, and papyrus rolls. Generation after generation was illumined by the wisdom secreted in these sacred repositories. Gradually, a separation took place among the school of mysteries. The seal of the priests, to spread their doctrines in many cases, apparently exceeded their intelligence. As a result, many were allowed to enter into the temples before they had really prepared themselves for the wisdom they were to receive. The result was that these untutored minds, slowly gaining positions of authority, became at last incapable of maintaining the institution because they were unable to contact the spiritual powers behind the material enterprise. So the mystery schools vanished. The spiritual hierarchy, served through all generations by a limited number of true and devoted followers, withdrew from the world, while the colossal material organizations, having no longer any contact with their divine source, wander in circles. Wait a minute.
Mom, we gotta go karate.
Later. Wandered in circles, daily becoming more involved in the rituals and symbols which they had lost the power of interpreting. An interesting and concrete example of the deterioration of the mystery schools and their rituals is found in the children's Punch and Judy play. For hundreds of years, the frivolous of all Western nations have laughed at the strange antics of these little figures. The world has long forgotten that this play originated among the early Christian mystics, where Punch was Pontius Pilate and Judy was Judas Iscariot. The little club which Punch carries is a degeneration of the ancient scepters which were carried by Roman dignitaries into the Holy Land. It is also quite probable that the famous scene between Punch and the baby is taken from the early Christian story of the slaughter of the innocents. And we're going to pause right here, y'all. Let me just kind of highlight this here. I found my iPad. Y'all, it was in my room. It must have fell on the floor off my nightstand, and somebody came by and kicked it under the bed. And that's where it was. So let me highlight this part right here. We'll probably come back and let me highlight it up here. We'll read this paragraph that I just read. We'll read this over, and then we'll pick it up. All right, because they're just getting too loud, right? All right, y'all. So with that being said, that is going to be it for today. We're at 1 hour and 6 minutes. Anyway, thank y'all for hanging out, y'all. It is Tuesday, April the 5th, 2022, day 74 of year 4 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets, another 4-year consecutive day count. It is day 1092. Today we finished reading Tablet X in the Complete Annunaki Bible, and we read a little bit more of what ancient wisdom would have its disciples to know.
Wednesday until my birthday.
Boy, get out of here. We ain't talking about that right now. What I say, y'all? Quit interrupting me with stuff that we can talk about afterwards. All right, y'all. Let's mark my little page right here.
Can I get on your iPad?
No.
It's on.
I don't care.
Mom, you know in the video?
Yeah, I'm about to. All right, beautiful people. Sorry for the interruptions. The internet, Verizon should be out here sometime today to looking to see what has happened. And the guys who were installing the fix yesterday, they probably did hit something, and just knock things out. I'm not sure what was underground or how that is even possible when everything is secured to the side of the house and like this lockbox. I don't know, but they apparently did something because everything was working fine till they got started out there knocking down and installing a new fence. All right, y'all. So with that being said, may y'all bless you and keep you, and may all that you learn you're able to apply to your life or not apply in some situations. All right, beautiful people. I love y'all.